Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another video. Today we are making picks for week 7 of the NFL season. Last week we ended up going 8-7. We went up from last week, however, there was still quite a bit of upsets that I did not get. And hopefully I can actually get the upset this upcoming week. We are starting with tonight's game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Steelers, they ended up doing well last week in beating the Browns 23-9 in a game where I just feel like the Browns probably had a little bit of issues coming back from London. The Bengals, they ended up doing all right against the Packers 27-18. The Bengals did have to come back a little bit though, as it was like garbage time points for them. But when it comes to this game, I do like the Steelers to win this game. I feel like the Steelers is going to have the better offense. They definitely have the better defense on the field. And we'll see how this game ends up going. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Rams going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Rams winning 17-3 against the Ravens last week, where I don't know what to say about the Rams, honestly, since their offense did not do well against the Ravens' bad defense. The Jaguars, they ended up losing this past week, 20-12 against the Seattle Seahawks. When it comes to this game, I do think Jacksonville struggled. Both teams struggled in this game, in their games last week. However, I do trust the Jaguars more to actually pull off the win, especially since the Jaguars struggled against the Seahawks rather than the Ravens. So, Jaguars win. Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints going up against the Chicago Bears. The Saints, they ended up losing again, but it was a pretty close game, 25-19 against the Patriots. The Bears, they won a close one against the Commanders, 25-24 off a late field goal. Now, this is if the Bears had two 25-24 wins the past 2 weeks against not that great defenses, they could probably win another one here. But at the same time, the Saints will keep it close, but the Bears, I think, will win this game. And the Bears are the more talented team. However, the Saints, they're starting to do better. They could win. They could keep it close. But Bears win. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins going up against the Cleveland Browns. The Dolphins. What can I even say at this point, man? 29-27 against the Chargers. You lost that one. And the Chargers was not really doing that good before that game. I honestly don't know what to say about you at this point. The Browns losing 23-19 against the Steelers, but at the same time, at least you could blame like coming back from London that game. I'm going to go with the Browns here. The Dolphins are just a mess, and the Browns has the better defense. They have the rushing game. There's really not much else to say with this one, honestly. Next up, we have the New England Patriots against the Tennessee Titans. Do I even have to say this one, honestly? Actually, you know what? Do I even have to say the next two? Because okay, I'm going to go a little bit more into these two matchups, and I'm breaking in the structure, but whatever. The Patriots, they have been a pretty good team. They won against the Bills week 5. It was close, but they won against the Saints week 6. The Titans, they really only won against the Cardinals out after whatever happened. They weren't even supposed to win that game. There's a new coach involved, so there may be a little bit of a bump. However, I don't think the Titans will win. When it comes to the Chiefs and the Raiders, I'm Rashee Rice is back, and the Raiders is only like won by 10 to the Titans, only scoring 20. Do I need to say anything further? All right. Philadelphia against the Vikings. The Eagles, they've been on a slump recently. They lost to the Giants 34-17 this past week. And I guess the fourth quarter keeps coming to them. The Vikings, they were on the bye last week, but the last time we saw them, they ended up winning against the Browns off a late touchdown. Are they going to be able to see a full four quarters with the Eagles this time? I'm not so sure. J.J. McCarthy may be back for the Vikings. He may not be. Either way, I do trust the Vikings enough because the Eagles are not really playing that well right now. But and I just trust the Vikings offense more than I do the Eagles offense right now. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers going up against the New York Jets. The Panthers, they ended up winning a close one against the Cowboys, 27-24, I think the final score was. The Jets, they lost 13-11 against the Broncos. And I just think Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard, if Hubbard is back officially, is going to end up getting the win for the Panthers. I don't think Bryce Young is going to have as good as a game as he did last week. However, that rushing game is pretty good to where I think the Panthers could win games off them, especially this one against the Jets. Next up, we have the New York Giants going up against the Denver Broncos. The Giants winning 34-17 against the Eagles. The Broncos losing 13-11 against the Jets. Winning 13-11 against the Jets, if I said that correctly. Honestly, this game is a close one. And both defenses should be good. Both teams are going to rely on the rushing game because the passing defense should not be as great. You should make the passing games not that great for either team. It's more so that I think the QBs is going to struggle in this game, especially against that pass rush. But which rushing game do I trust more? After last week, I'm actually going to head with the Giants. Now, I know the Giants had like a breakout game last week, and they're probably due for a regression. The Broncos have just not been that good right now. Only 13 against the Jets. And they struggled against the Eagles the week prior before scoring 18 points. So there is quite a bit of with the Broncos right now. Meanwhile, for the Giants, there could be a little bit of with Jackson Dart, but Cam Scatterboo in the rushing game, I think, is going to end up winning this game. The Indianapolis Colts is going to be facing the Los Angeles Chargers. And yeah, I kind of have to go with the Colts in this one. The Colts has been beating easier teams, but at the same time, the Chargers is like the team with the winning record that is probably the easiest one with the winning record, honestly, other than the Broncos. Because the Chargers, they won 29-27 against the struggling Dolphins, but lost 27-10 to the Commanders the week before. The Colts, they kept it close to the Cardinals, but at the same time, Cardinals always plays up. So I have to assume that the Colts are going to win this game. Next up, we have the Washington Commanders going up against the Dallas Cowboys. The Commanders losing 25-24 against the Bears. That was such a good game, actually. But the Cowboys, they ended up losing that game to the Panthers. This game has the makings for an offensive shootout. Both defenses are not that great. Both offenses are pretty good. I think I'm going to go with the better offense, and that actually is the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Cowboys' offense is that good, and if CeeDee Lamb comes back, it's just going to be even better. So because of that, I'm going to have the Cowboys win. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers going up against the Arizona Cardinals. The Packers, 27-18 against the Bengals, and the Cardinals, they played up to competition with the Colts. I think this is actually going to be that kind of thing because the Cardinals are the ultimate play up or play down team. Packers win, but Cardinals cover. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons going up against the San Francisco 49ers. The Falcons ended up winning against the Bills this past week in a game where Bijan Robinson and Drake London did absolutely amazing. The 49ers, they ended up losing 30-19 against the Buccaneers. I'm going to go with the Falcons in this one. They are the more healthy team, but even if 49ers get quite a bit of offensive players back, I just trust the Atlanta defense more than I do the 49ers defense. And the offenses is probably going to perform about the same anyway. Is defensive side. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Detroit Lions. The Buccaneers, they won 30-19 against the 49ers. The Lions, they just lost 30-17 against the Chiefs. So, what will happen in this game? This is going to be a shootout. And this is going to be a great Monday night matchup. I don't know why this is in the doubleheader rather than the single Monday night matchup. I guess the 6-9 makes it so you're mainly focusing on this game anyways, but still. Why do we have another 9 o'clock game? Anyways, with that being said, with the offensive shootout, with the injuries the Buccaneers have, I am going to go with the Lions in this one. The rushing game should be better with Bucky Irving being out for the Buccaneers. As I already know, the passing game is going to be good for both of them. Due to the rushing game, Lions win. And finally, we have that 9 o'clock game between the Houston Texans and the Seattle Seahawks. The Texans, the last time we saw them, since they were on a bye last week, they won 44-10 against the Baltimore Ravens, who is mightily struggling. The Seahawks, they ended up winning 20-12 against the Jaguars, and the Jaguars has pretty good defense. The Jaguars is a pretty similar team to the Texans this year. With that being said, and the Seattle Seahawks winning by 8 to the Jaguars, I may as well go with the Seahawks here. The Texans, they're probably riding high, but they face 2 easy opponents for their wins. I'm not sold on the Texans right now. I'm kind of high on the Seahawks. And those are my picks for this week. With that being said, if you liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.